Normally in the morning, when we start to work in the Cath Lab, we need to put the AC15 beside the bed. Here we need to confirm that we couldn't influence the monitor of the DSA or other devices in the Cath Lab. At the same time, we need to leave the interface of analyzer visible to the operator, and it should be visible for the physician, nurse, or the technician in control room. Okay, now we connect the power. Connect the internet. For the analyzer, we need to hold the button for about 3 seconds. Then it goes up normally. And for the main unit of the workstation, click the button and wait for several seconds. The machine is ready. So we leave the device standby by the bed. When we get an appropriate keys, we can perform the CFFR evaluation. Okay, now we take a transducer for the CFFR evaluation. As we know, transducer is the sterilized, so we need to put the transducer on the sterile bed. This is the extended pipeline for the connection for the transducer in Cath Lab and our transducer. This is the pipeline, and this is the transducer we need to use for the CFFR evaluation. Okay, next we will show you how to connect the transducer to in Cath Lab. First, remove the can. Okay, take the extended pipeline. We need to use a small 3-way valve. And here, this pipeline to the IPP sensor in Cath Lab, and connect the pipeline of our flash pressure transducer to this port. Okay. Next, we take the manifold, connect the port to the first port. Okay, now the connection is okay. Okay, next we need to empty the air in the channels. First, we need to make the valve 3 valve, because now it's open to the atmosphere. So we need to rotate it 180 degrees clockwise and make this valve open to atmosphere. Before next step, we suggest to fasten here. Okay, it's fastened. And another part for 3 valve, because now we empty the air for the flash pressure transducer, so we need to confirm the saline just to our transducer. After we finish all the procedure, empty air, 0 calibration, we need to make the valve like this. Of course, now because we just empty air for all transducer, so make the valve like this. Okay, now let's continue. Okay, we push the saline slowly to empty the air in the channels. If we find there is some bubbles, we can click the transducer lightly. Okay, after that, we need to close the valve at the distal end. Now the air emptying is finished. Okay, next we need to create a new case. Just click the create on the screen. Next step, we need to connect our transducer to the IPP cable, and first put the transducer to the holder. Okay, connect the IPP cable. Then rotate the proxima valve 90 degrees anti-clockwise. Okay, then click the zero calibration on the analyzer. It would inform the zero calibration success. Okay, then rotate the valve 90 degrees clockwise. Okay, now, after we finish the transducer connection and zero calibration, we need to make the channel to the IBU sensor and to the transducer. They are open to the aorta. Just rotate the valve like this. And then we need to open the channel to the aorta. This open. Okay, after we make the channel open to the aorta, and we can see the waves on the analyzer. Okay. And on the outside of the monitor ASC15, we can see the waves also, and the system would record the waves automatically for the further calculation use. Okay, after we get pressure waves on the analyzer of AS15, we can see same pressure waves on screen. Before we continue the next step, we need to confirm here we have the recorded pressure waves. Okay, and now we can ask a physician to take the angiographic projections. After physician finishes the procedures, ask a technician to push the related projections to AS15 from the workstation of DSA. There is no need to push other projections. Just two standard projections are enough to perform the CFFR evaluation. Okay, now we get two projections about this patient. That's the RCA. Now we need to push the two projections to AS15. Later, we will get the patient ID and patient name changed on the screen of the ASC15. And there would be some information about the process of the transmission. Just a moment. After we finish the projections transmission, we need to click the CFFR, and we can get the two projections for CFFR evaluation. Okay, demonstration of CFFR evaluation. Now we start. First step, we need to choose the two projections, then give the name, here RCA. Next step, we need to choose the best frame with full contrast, no overlapping and no distorted at the stenosis part during the diastole period. And okay, now we get the sanctified frames. Next step, we need to add the start and end points. Normally, we can choose aorta as the start point for LAD, LCX, sometimes for RCA here. This RCA we can use the aorta, and choose easily marked point as the end point here. Easily marked because here the bifurcation. Next step, the system would recognize the contours automatically. Sometimes manual adjustment is needed. Then here, with the plus, it would expand the contour. With the minus, it will narrow the contour. Compare with the two projection, we can know here is the stenosis part. We can move forward and afterward with the previous frame or the next frame. Here maybe plus a little. Yeah. And we need to adjust here also. Okay, the length and the stenosis position almost same. Then next step. Okay, next step. Sometimes we know the stenosis diameter may be the difference may be a little big, but for this one, from this position we can see the narrowing is not so big, but for the second one, we can see the stenosis, the narrowing degree is very big, so confirm. Next step, we will see the 3D reconstructed vessel. Okay. Next step. Next step, we need to calculate the flow velocity with thin frame count method. First, choose the frame. We contrast, get to the start point. Here, start frame. For the end one, you can see here. Okay. Same operation for the second projection. Okay, this one start. End. Next step, we need to confirm the aorta pressure. Just click next step and we can get to the interface of CFFR evaluation. Okay, now we have the 3D reconstructed vessel, we have the velocity, we have the PA. Click the CFFR button. Then we will get the CFFR value within 30 seconds. Okay, now we get the CFFR value. According to the results, we can know PCI operation should be performed. So next step, save the report firstly. And we leave time to the physician to perform the PCI. And after the operation, we can evaluate the CFFR again. The demonstration of post-CFFR evaluation. After the operation, we can evaluate the CFFR again. So we need to suggest the physician to keep the transducer connected after the PCI, and we can collect some pressure waves continuously. And now they finish the angiographic projection taking for the post RCA. Now we can get two projections on the workstation of DSA. We can see the vessels are very beautiful. Next, we need to send the two projections after PCI to AS15. Here we can see the transferring information. And on ASC15, we can get the projections later at the browser interface. Just a moment, we will get the projections post PCI. Just a moment. Actually, next steps we need to use same procedures as previous part. And okay, now we get two projections post PCI. Okay, choose them. Next step, here we need to choose post RCA. Next step, here same operations as previous. We need to choose the best frame with full contrast, no overlapping, no distorted during the death delay period. Next step, choose the start and end point. Same procedures on another one. Next step, here the software would recognize the contours automatically. It's very beautiful, no need to do any modification. Next step, then next step. Now we get a reconstructed 3D vessel. Next step, we need to calculate the flow velocity. First, click the start frame. We need to choose, okay, the contrast, get to the start point as the start frame, and for the end frame, here, contrast to the end point. Okay, here. For this one, start. And next step, we need to choose the pressure, confirm the pressure. Here, next step, we have the 3D vessel, we have the flow velocity, and we have the PA. Just click the CFFR button, and we can get the CFFR post PCI within several seconds. Okay, now we have the post CFFR value. According to the results, we can know the operation was successful. So next step, part 9, we need to save report and cases exportation. After we finish all the procedures to give the CFFR evaluation, now we have the information of the CFFR and post CFFR. Click next step and we can see the report interface. We need to save the report firstly. Then export the report if we need it to the DVD or the removable disk. Okay, or we can, if no other options, we can close the case. Of course, sometimes if we need to export the case for further research or backup, we can choose the case, export to the removable disk. After that, all the procedures are finished for this case. Okay, if we have new cases, we can follow up the procedures we performed just now. After we finish all the procedure, we need to collect all the consumable parts and drop them into the medical waste bin. And one thing we need to pay attention is that when we remove the transducer from the IPP cable, we need to pay attention to the connector slowly, just as the video show. There is no more case we need to evaluate the CFR value. So we can close the system and put it back to the original place. Hold the button for about 3 seconds. Okay, now the analyzer would shut down automatically. And then we remove the internet. We need to shut down the workstation also. Okay, after we shut down the workstation, then we remove the power cable and put it back to the original place in Cath Lab. Okay, that's all. Thanks for your attention.